Hello dear Madrid fans. Before we begin the video, make sure to subscribe to support the channel, and stay until the very end so you don't miss any information. Once again, as another huge night approaches, a night that was supposed to captivate all of Europe, the name of Kylian Mbappé is not linked to promises of brilliance, but to uncertainty. An injury, a possible absence, a shadow falling once again over football's biggest stage at the worst possible time. The Champions League quarter-final second leg against Bayern Munich was meant to be a night of light, speed, genius, and emotion. A night when the eyes of the world turn toward the stars who can change the fate of a match in a single second. Yet just days before this decisive battle, Real Madrid are holding their breath. Kylian Mbappé, injured in the face during the match against Girona after a harsh elbow from Vitor Rice, is dealing with a cut above his right eyebrow. Stitches, ongoing pain, no collective training session, and most importantly, the phrase supporters hate to hear, his availability is uncertain. It has almost become common in modern football. The biggest matches wait for the biggest players, but sometimes the body refuses to cooperate. And when it concerns Mbappé, the impact is enormous. Because he is not just another player. He is not simply one more striker in Madrid's squad. He is supposed to be the man who changes European nights. The one who turns pressure into glory. The one who appears when legs are trembling and time is running out. The one you sign specifically for matches like this against Bayern Munich. So imagining this clash without him, or with a weakened Mbappé, feels deeply disappointing. Real Madrid know European nights better than anyone. This club built its legend on impossible comebacks, unexpected heroes, and unforgettable moments. But even the greatest institutions need raw talent to write history. And Mbappé represents pure talent at its highest level. His speed terrifies defenses. His runs break lines. His calm finishing changes the psychology of a match. His name alone forces opponents to defend differently. Without him, or with a physically limited version of him, the entire attacking dynamic is shaken. What makes the situation even more bitter is the context. Mbappé scored in the first leg. He had already left his mark on this tie. He entered this two-legged battle as a decisive factor. He was the main threat, the fear in Bayern eyes, the constant possibility of chaos. And now, at the moment when the job must be finished, when leaders are expected to rise, a facial injury threatens to rule him out. Football can be brutal in its simplicity. One badly placed elbow, one seemingly ordinary collision, and suddenly an entire European campaign can change. Madrid supporters know this unbearable feeling. The waiting, the vague statements, training images analyzed second by second, contradictory rumors. He could play. He is very doubtful. Late decision. At times like these, time slows down. Every hour feels like torture. Fans search for the truth hidden behind careful club words. They hope to see Mbappé smiling, running, touching the ball. They refuse to imagine the worst. But the fear is there. What if Real Madrid must face Bayern without their biggest weapon? Because a Champions League quarter-final second leg against Bayern Munich is never a normal match. It is a tactical war, a mental battle, a clash between two giants who forgive nothing. In this kind of duel, every detail matters. Every mistake is expensive. Every absence has a cost. Bayern know perfectly well what Mbappé represents. They know he can run 40 meters in seconds. They know he can score from half a chance. They know he can push an entire defense 5 meters deeper. His absence would be a huge relief for them. And that is what saddens football lovers the most. The biggest games should feature the best players at their best. We wanted to see Mbappé against Bayern's defenders. We wanted to see his speed against the discipline. His boldness against their experience. We wanted to see whether, wearing the Real Madrid shirt, he could fully reign over these European nights. Instead, we are talking about stitches, pain, eyebrows, and medical precautions. Cruel irony. Some will say Real Madrid have enough talent to cope. That is true. This club has stars everywhere. Midfielders who can control the tempo, attackers who can score, defenders used to pressure. But replacing Mbappé is not just changing a name on the team sheet. It is replacing an aura. A permanent threat. A player who changes the opponent's plans before kickoff. A player capable of spontaneous genius. And no system can guarantee that. There is also another dimension. Image and legacy. Mbappé arrived to live nights like this. To conquer Europe in white. To become the face of Madrid's great nights. Every quarterfinal, semi-final, and possible final helps build his legend. Missing a match this crucial, even through bad luck, always leaves a bitter taste. Because great careers are remembered through great nights. And when you miss one, time never gives it back. Perhaps the most painful part is the frustration of the player himself. Mbappé is not the type to hide from responsibility. He wants to be there when everything is on the line. He wants to feel the tension, hear the stadium roar, carry the weight of expectations. To be slowed down by a facial injury must be unbearable for a competitor of his level. And yet football moves on. The calendar waits for no one. Wednesday is coming. Bayern will arrive with their weapons, ambition, and European tradition. Real Madrid must respond, with or without Mbappé. That is the law of this sport. Emotion never pauses competition. But let's be honest, the story will not be the same depending on whether he is there or not. His presence changes everything. His absence creates a void impossible to ignore. If Mbappé plays through pain, every movement will be watched. Is he free? Is he protected? Can he challenge in the air? Will he hesitate in contact? A facial injury is not minor for a player exposed to constant collisions. Every aerial duel becomes a concern. Every accidental knock brings fear back. Even if he plays, he may not be fully himself. And that too would be disappointing. Seeing a champion forced to hold back in a match where he should be unleashed. If he misses out completely, the Santiago Bernabeu, or wherever this European drama takes place, will instantly feel the absence. The chance will be there. Hope will remain. But something special will be missing. That thrill when a superstar touches the ball for the first time. That feeling that anything can happen. Mbappé brings that. He brings unpredictability, fear for the opponent, excitement for his own side. Without him, everything becomes more rational, and sometimes less magical. Football loves symbols. Seeing one of the most decisive players of his generation threatened with absence because of a simple elbow reminds us how fragile this sport remains. We talk about millions, tactics, statistics, scientific preparation, yet sometimes everything changes because of one clumsy moment in La Liga days before a European summit. Almost absurd, yet completely real. In cafes, on social media, in the streets of Madrid and beyond, one question is everywhere. Will Mbappé be ready? The answers change by the hour. Hope alternates with concern. Some remain confident. Others fear an unnecessary risk. Because there is also this dilemma. Force destiny for a massive match and risk worsening the problem. Or protect the star and lose a decisive weapon. Real Madrid have often won by defying logic. But even Madrid's mystique cannot replace a world-class player. It can elevate him, inspire him, not replace him. Mbappé was meant to be the center of this night. He was meant to attack space, create danger, maybe score, surely celebrate. Instead, his injured face tells another story. The story of a champion stopped just when takeoff was expected. So yes, the match will happen. Yes, other players can become heroes. Yes, Real Madrid remain Real Madrid. But the possible absence of Mbappé in such an important match will leave a sense of emptiness. Because we expect stars to shine when the stage becomes enormous. Because we expect major transfers to justify themselves in European quarterfinals. Because we love seeing the best players on the biggest nights. And because, deep down, nobody likes a clash of this magnitude to begin with a feeling of incompleteness. Maybe he returns in time. Maybe he grits his teeth. Maybe he turns this worry into a heroic story. Football loves such twists. But right now, in this moment of doubt, disappointment dominates. The disappointment of seeing human fragility interrupt the biggest occasions once again. The disappointment of imagining an extraordinary night missing one of its main actors. The disappointment of realizing that at the top of world sport, sometimes one elbow is enough to change everything. And if Mbappé truly misses this appointment, many will remember less the score than the emptiness left behind. The emptiness of a missing star when the world expected brilliance. The emptiness of a quarter-final that promised a total duel. The emptiness of a sport that can sometimes feel unfair. Because in the biggest matches, we want to see the biggest players. And today, that is exactly what is under threat. Thank you for watching the video. I'm counting on you to subscribe and share.